This is the plaintiff, Tatiana Ferguson. She says she got a tattoo from the defendant, and the guy had a heavy hand. He applied too much pressure on her skin, and the tattoo looks terrible. The ugly thing is not something she can just erase from her arm. She has to look at it every day and gets a pit in her stomach from it. She's suing for $5,000 so she can get it removed. This is the defendant, Miguel. He says he's been in the business for 20 years. He inked a beautiful tattoo on the plaintiff, and it's not his fault if she didn't take care of it the way he instructed her to. This is one of those customers you just can't please, and he would be willing to help her out, but if she wants that, it's gonna cost her. He's accused of making the ink go splat.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant gave her a wonky tattoo, but the defendant says the tattoo was on fleek. It's the case of, you screwed up my tat, you dirty rat.
Tatiana Ferguson?
Yes.
All right, you are suing Miguel. You've asked us not to use your last name or the business name. You're suing Miguel's business for $5,000 in damages, a statutory maximum, because according to you, they ruined your body doing a tattoo and doing a correction to a tattoo. Tell me what happened.
Okay, so on October 29th, I went to go get a piercing. I went to go get my nose pierced, and then I decided to get the tattoo in honor of my brother that passed away.
In honor of?
My brother, my baby brother that passed away.
When did your baby brother pass away?
At birth.
Oh.
So, yeah. And then I wanted to get a tattoo of a feather because my mom told me a story about how when she was coming home from the hospital, that a baby bird was on the windshield and it didn't leave. So to me, it just stuck with me. So I got that done. And like at first it just looked like a bruise. I'm like, okay, it's healing. After a while, it started like getting dark. And then I figured that
What was getting dark?
Like around the tattoo.
The skin around it?
Yeah.
Okay, you
Like
actually
at the
have
bottom.
pictures at the time.
Yeah.
Do you have the pictures here?
Yes.
Is that what's on the monitor?
Yes. This is actually the same night I got it.
And when is this?
This is like a few months ago.
Well, that's before you do the corrective work, right?
Yes.
It almost looks like a really big bruise around it.
Yes.
Did you ever go to a doctor
No.
to see what the bruising was or to see what that was? How did you conclude whatever it was? What did you think it was?
I just looked it up, and it said that the ink had spread, and then I actually went to
But
another...
okay, but does ink spreading look like that?
If you overload it with ointment when you're healing the tattoo. Well, this is Nico. He's the actual tattooist that did the tattoo.
Oh, okay. Well, both of you are in the business. How long have you been in the business?
Well, I'm over 20 years.
And how long have you been in the business?
Well, I taught him how to tattoo.
Right.
I
How
treat
long
him like
have you
my
been in the
son.
business?
Going about 3 years.
3 years. All right. Now, when you're looking at this, because you've got the greater expertise, what do you think is going on there?
Well, when I first looked at it, I was really amazed because, let's say this was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. In old times, we used to use pelican ink. That's real ink from a pen onto your skin, and ink would travel into your body. Like an old sailor, he would have a tattoo, and you see the green around it. But we don't use that anymore. We use Star Bright. The Star Bright is a pigmentation. It's not ink as a pen ink. It's a dye. When I saw that, I said, it doesn't look right. And I said, well, this tattoo is October, and this is almost a year ago.
She came in for the second time? It was a year later?
Pretty much a year later.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. And in all that time, you didn't go to a doctor and you didn't come back to them?
No, because I was working 2 jobs, so it was kind of
I know,
hard
but
to
it's a
leave
year.
it.
It's 365 days.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, who's the lady with you?
This is my grandmother.
Okay, and nobody was worried saying, oh, you should get that looked at? What, I'm still not hearing your answer, though, on what you think that is.
Okay.
You don't have an answer.
No. Well, we recommend anybody when they get a tattoo glue. It's a formula they made for tattoos. For when you're healing the process. You could destroy a beautiful tattoo if you don't treat it correctly. When I saw this, I said, why you didn't come to me earlier? You know, like, if I saw this done in a week, I would have told her.
What would you have told her? That's what That's what I'm trying to get.
Okay, I would have told her whatever cream she's using because she didn't go with what we use.
What cream were you using?
Neosporin, and I asked them before I left, what should I use?
What
And
did
they
you
told
tell
me
her to
that.
use?
We only recommend tattoo goo.
Okay.
But normally, when you see something like this, a tattoo is cut the skin too much, and you get a blowout. What we call
Meaning
blowout.
what?
The ink spreads all through your whole body.
Right.
And it'll do a stain, almost like that. But if you look at a tattoo, the tattoo is properly put on.
How would a tattoo that blew out
The
look?
lines blur
Blur.
as if you didn't do a straight line. Her feather to the tip is as pointed as possible,
Right.
meaning there was no blowout. We have pictures here of the tattoo exactly when she got it.
Let me see.
I have 3 photos. The first photo is exactly a year ago.
Okay.
When she got it, and it looked perfectly
The
fine.
second photo is when she came in the shop and showed me the black and blue looking. The third photo is what she picked to cover that up.
Well, let's talk about that. You decide when you come in to cover it up, you come in to talk to him about it, to talk about your option. What do you come in for?
Yeah,
a
I
year
came
later?
in to talk about my options. I said, what can you do for me about this? So I agreed to that, to cover it up. So I agreed to that. And then,
But aren't you worried about what's happening to your body underneath that? Why don't you go see a doctor? You still haven't seen a doctor. You're here, you're seeing a judge, and you haven't seen a doctor. Anyway, so what did you do? You end up putting this other feather, and now you got what you got. So I want to take a look at the tattoo now that you guys did to cover it up. So
Well, not cover up the stain.
cover up the stain, I know.
which is still not covered up because it's still here.
I don't even like it. What is this? This is the
Second feather.
second feather. Do you like it?
Yeah,
Why'd
she
you pick
picked
it? Look, right here is still dark, right
That's what
there.
that's what I'm trying to say.
No, I know. I'm just trying to figure
Yeah.
out why. Did you ever go to another tattoo artist who says, oh, that's because it was done wrong, as opposed to that your body has reacted poorly to the tattoo?
I actually spoke to 3 artists, and they didn't want to give me anything in writing, so I couldn't really.
All right, so you end up doing this other tattoo, and at the time that you left, did you pay for that tattoo?
Yeah.
So did it look okay?
It looked bad, and I kept asking him while he was doing this tattoo, like, can you add something over here, please? And he's like, that's gonna cost you an extra $70. And I'm like, why do I have to keep paying for your mistake?
Yeah.
Where she said she wanted another tattoo was above where there was no discoloration of the previous tattoo, which is what I told her. If you wanted a new tattoo, it would be different pricing.
Did the new feather that you put there, it doesn't seem that it covered the whole thing, or did it? Did you take a picture that day?
Yeah, I recorded it, and I asked her
Okay.
I asked her she was satisfied, and she said, mm-hmm.
Okay, who has tattoos here? I can tell you have tattoos. You have tattoos? Show me the worst tattoo and the one you regret the most, if you can.
I really don't have the words, but I think that I got a Stewie on my leg, but I can't.
You got a what?
a Stewie. You know Stewie from
Family
Family.
Guy? That's not so bad. What about you?
I probably would have to say just this one. I really like it, but it needs
What the
to
hell
be
is
worked
it?
on. It's an angel.
That's it.
Worked on a little bit.
Oh yeah, it is an angel.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the problem with that, it's like no. When you put it down.
Yeah.
When you put it down.
Looks like an octopus.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous.
I know.
Like when it's down like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would regret it if I were you.
No, I don't regret it.
Kidding. I'm kidding. Going inside the courtroom.
Can we put that up on the monitor, please?
So as long as this is good for you, we're good, right?
So as long as this is good for you, we're good, right? That's she signed a waiver. All right, I have a question for you. You have decided to sue for $4,885, estimated amount for procedure to have the tattoo removed or further corrected. Did you go and get estimates that to remove this tattoo it will cost $5,000?
No, but somebody gave me a card of a place that I can go to get it removed.
I know. I'm asking, do you have evidence in court? Is your
My grandmother.
grandmother moral support, or is she a witness?
She's a witness to me, like.
Come on up. I want to talk to Grandma.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Did you ever
afternoon.
tell her to go to a doctor?
She was believing it was healing.
Right, but then it
And
turns
then
out she
later
kept
on
it for a
she
whole year.
said, I'm like, it hasn't healed yet.
Right.
And she was led to believe that he can repair it.
All right.
There's something
all right.
wrong with that picture.
We're done. Here's how it works in court, okay? If you want somebody to pay you $5,000, you have to be able to prove that you're damaged by them and that damage is $5,000 worth of damage. If you can't get past, is it their fault, you can't get to question 2, which is what it's gonna cost. You have nothing but you saying it's their fault. And I'm not going to accept that and tell them they gotta pay you $5,000 over that. My verdict in this case is for the defendants.
Should be interesting to hear what the plaintiff has to say coming out on the losing end of this case. Come in a little bit and, well, you're stuck with the tattoo. Now what?
No words.
No words.
You know, for the reason she wanted it done, I really think it's sad that it had to end up here. But I think if they did more screening and had more professionals, it wouldn't have happened.
All right, so step on out here. That's not a satisfied customer.
No, it's not.
Yeah, right here. And yeah, what happened?
I don't know. When she came in my shop a year later, I saw that. I thought somebody beat her up. And then I turned around, I'm looking at it, I go, for a 20-year veteran. And I brought another 20-year veteran with me. And we look at this tattoo and say, you know, this is something wrong. She maybe did something that we don't know about.
Did you do the tattoos on your partner there? Did you do those?
I did my left arm.
They all work. They all working out all right?
Yeah.
Harvey?
Okay, here's the deal, Kurt. She needed expert testimony. There is absolutely no evidence he did anything wrong. And without expert testimony, she's a loser. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.